so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all times. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program. Thank you so much.
A secular country that has a constitution and a law, but in that same country, you have different laws operating on different levels. Some people are treated as sacred cows. In that secular country, some part are practicing Sharia, some are not. And even those who doesn't know what Sharia is all about will be jailed and sentenced and attacked because of the Sharia law. How do you blame them when you made them believe that they're in a secular state? You made them to believe that in a secular state. If they had known that they are in a Sharia country, they will obey the laws. I tell you, there are so many Christians, there are so many Biafrans living in a Muslim world today, and they are living happily well, obeying all the laws. They do their business, they live there, and they live happily without complaint. Because they know that they are in Islamic nation and they will respect their laws. But how can you come and tell somebody, convince somebody and deceive somebody that he or she is living in a secular country, and the person will live his life freely as somebody who lives in a secular country and do whatever he does? Because you told us that you can practice any religion, do whatever you feel you want to practice, whatever you practice, the way you want to practice it. But yet, in that same country, people will smoke your life out that you have committed one crime against their religion or the other. You see why it is necessary that we draw a line. When we are talking about disintegration, it is just draw a line. Draw a line. Let those who want to be in the caliphate have their own country. Name it anything. Practice whatever you want to practice in your caliphate. Let those who want to be in a secular nation have their country, have their borders. Practice what they want to practice there. It doesn't mean that they cannot both be friends. Both of them can still live by side. They can still do business together. They can interact together. They can equally intermarry if they so desire. They can do so many things together. But it will be very clear. The line will be drawn. You will know your limitations. You will know your boundaries. You will know that when you are crossing from this place to this place, I am entering into Sharia zone, and not ever. You will know that when you want to go into the Sharia zone, you will apply for a visa, and they will tell you, you will see it written in your visa, do and don't. So that when you go there and you commit any crime, even your job, God cannot save you because you saw it before you enter. But in all these things, every one of them can still come together, do business together, interact together, associate together, if they so desire. If you can still, at the end of the day, decide to merge yourself together under an agreement, and still operate effectively. But not just to drag people by force, take people by force, and push them as if we are still in slave camp. This is why we are saying we do not want to be part of this very thing anymore. When we say it, some people think it's out of hatred. It is not out of hatred. It is not that we are trying to showcase that we are too wise or too smart. No. It is not because of our resources. It is because we want everyone to have a meaningful life. We want everybody to grow at their own speed. We want everybody to live a legitimate life. That is why we are saying what we are saying. We want everybody to grow. We want to have a healthy competition. There's nothing wrong in having a healthy competition. There's nothing wrong in it. Today, I can tell you, after Singapore moved away from Malaysia, they are competing day and night. Each of them is living as an example to the other. No one wants to back down. They are not at war with each other. In fact, they are very, very friendly. Do a lot of things together. Learn from each other. In terms of infrastructures, they learn from each other. In terms of development, they learn from each other. healthy competition. That is what we want to see in that very contraption. By the time people go their separate ways, Arewa will face their problem and solve it by themselves in their own way without anybody interrupting. The Ududua people will face their problem and solve it in their own way without anybody interrupting. The Biafran people will face their problem and solve it in their own way without anybody interrupting. In the process of each of them solving their problems, they will learn a lot and they can learn from each other. There will be a competition, a healthy one. There's no way your neighboring country can be doing well and you still be down. It doesn't happen. When your neighboring country is doing well, your people will be forced to, even your politicians will be forced to change things. The citizens will be forced to emulate. When they go to their neighbor and they see something, they will like to implement it there. This is their mates. Nobody will be behind. People will strive. Then and only then that you know that every state in that contraction has a mineral resources that can sustain them. Every state, I say, every state in the contraction called Nigeria has resources that can sustain them. But why are they lazy? They are lazy because the people that merge them together wanted to be so. They want to be the one to be taking away the resources and push your eyes only on one resources. They push everybody's eye on the resources that is in Biafra land, bring it at the center, they share it, and you go your own way. Meanwhile, the resources that is in your own state that you're supposed to use to develop your state, they will sell it out to the foreign countries. They will push it out to the foreign countries, and you will not ask questions. You won't ask questions. So many mineral resources have been taken out of that contraction without any sharing formula. You don't hear, the only time you hear about sharing formula is when you talk about the resources that are coming from the southern part of Nigeria, more especially Biafra land. When you want to talk about the resources from Biafra land, that is when you hear about sharing formula. But the resources in other part of the contraction, there is no formula for sharing. It is meant for them and for them alone. They move it. Some of them, sometimes you see a place where private jet was taking gold all from the forest to the UK. A private jet carrying gold from the forest direct to Europe. And this is the one you have seen. There are so many that are still going on, even as we are speaking now. As we are speaking, stealing of resources is still happening. And nobody cares about it. This is a country that will boast that they want to protect their borders and territory. But nowhere is protected. It is because of these same things that you see that the borders are porous. People can walk in and walk out. You don't even know who is in Nigeria and who is not. You can't even tell. That is why I tell people, nobody is a Nigerian. Nobody. Nobody is a Nigerian. Anybody that walks out from any part of Africa and gets into that country, you are a Nigerian. Nobody is a Nigerian. And that is why there is nobody that's patriotic to Nigeria. Today, look at your late Muhammad Buhari. Your late Muhammad Buhari is talking about after coming down from his seat, he will go to Niger and relax. He's mentioning Niger as his home, where he's going to relax. That was why he was busy using your money to build a train line to Niger Republic. And nobody was asking questions. And the funniest thing that the person who was defending the building of railway from Niger to Nigeria was somebody from the southern part of Nigeria, a Biafran. A Biafran was defending building railway. The transportation minister building railway from Niger to Nigeria. And when you see his explanation, you'll be wondering from which planet are these people coming. When you see what he was explaining about the economic importance, that it will be easy for the Nigerian people to be using the Nigerian port to export. Export what? What are they exporting? The only import we are getting from Niger is Boko Haram, militants, terrorists. That's all you get. What mineral resources are you bringing in from Niger Republic? What? What gain are you bringing from? The money that is generated from southeast part of Nigeria, the money that southeast part of Nigeria gives to Lagos State alone and to other states, the money they generate is 1 million times higher than what you can get in Niger Republic, in the whole of Niger Republic. The money that the people from the southeast spend to travel from the southeast and the business they run from southeast to Abuja, southeast to Lagos, the money they generate southeast to Lagos, you cannot compare it to what you make in Niger for entire year. What they make in a week, you can't compare it to what they make in Niger for years. Of which importance? You build the railway station. Is it the railway station they can pay? Can they common fare, the fare of railway they can pay? They will not pay the fare. It will be free for them. They cannot pay the transport fare with that train. And of course, they'll be coming in without they don't need visa as usual, because you have seen your president telling you that is his own. They are trying to merge Niger and Nigeria has to be one. And the person they used to preach this wrong message was somebody from the southern part of Nigeria. Today, where is he? After using him, what happened? They dumped him and threw him to the dustbin. Today, have you ever heard about Rotimi Amaechi again? Are you not surprised? Initially, when you see media interviewing him right, left, and center, do you hear about him anymore? He has stolen as much as he can, and finally he disappeared. He has gotten as much as he wants, and he disappeared. And that is how they groom all these evil men in Biafra land. Look at Rotimi Amaechi. With all the money he has stolen, the caliphate already know that this man is a criminal. He has stolen a lot of money, and they will keep silent. And they will be waiting on when they're going to use him. Just the same way they are using Tinubu today. A time will come when they are going to use Rotimi Amaechi. If Biafra doesn't leave this contraption, a time will come when Rotimi Amaechi will become the greatest enemy of the Biafran people. This same thing you saw Tinubu doing today, a time will come when Rotimi Amaechi will play the same role. When they were building Tinubu, some of you didn't know what was happening. When they were building somebody like Tinubu, you thought it was a joke. Tinubu stole money, was stealing from Lagos State, made Lagos State his personal property. Nobody challenged him anywhere. The federal government never come after him. The federal government never told him to stop. The federal government never took him to court to stop him from all those irregularities. Even in getting involved in drug deals, the federal government never come after him. They went to the extent to appoint him as a presidential candidate and pushing him to be a winner. You saw when Bullion Van during election went to his house and everybody was silent. The federal government didn't say anything. They were preparing him for today because they know that today will come. And when it comes, he's going to play back to them. He's going to play everything back to them. And that is why you see them today supporting Tinubu. It is not because they love the Udua people. It is not because they are doing it for. They are not. Whatever support you see the Fulani Caliphate today giving to Tinubu, they are not doing it because of the Udua people. They are not doing it because of Yorubas. They are not doing it because of Tinubu. They are doing it for themselves, for their own selfish interest. After all, they have succeeded in giving him a leader of Boko Haram as his vice. They gave him a leader of Boko Haram as his vice. And you know, from every indication, if you can be truthful to yourself, Tinubu cannot be able to stay there up to 2 years. Even if at the end of the day, they swear him, by then we must have gone. He will not be there up to 2 years. And then, the leader of the Boko Haram will now become your president. It will now be clear in your eyes what you ask for. That is why I tell you, be careful what you ask for. When you are going to the polls to vote, be careful what you ask for. This same Shetima, who built the Boko Haram, sponsored them, and trained more of them militant, and some of them are still living with him up to today. When he becomes your president, then, only then you understand Then you understand. You see what is happening in Sudan now. You see what is happening in Sudan. You see the war that is going in Sudan today. Some of you don't know what is happening. When you look at what is happening in Sudan today, it is a war between two groups, the government group and the militant group. And this militant group that they call the Janjaweed is an Islamic group. The Janjaweed, they are religiously formed, and they go and fight in any place where there is any religious disturbances. They are being hired. They are just like hired assassins, the Janjaweed, which were built by their former president that was overthrown. And today you see them fighting a war with the government. We do not want to be witness all this, and that is why Biafrans are fighting day and night to get out. Because if we do not walk out of the Zoological Republic, what is happening in Sudan today is going to happen. Because as I'm telling you today, Boko Haram have generals in Nigerian military. Boko Haram have commanders in Nigerian military. Nigerian military today is divided into two, if not more than two. There are some part of Nigerian military today that are loyal, very loyal to the Boko Haram. That is why you will hear the Fulani Heismen are doing operation. They are killing people. You call them, they will not come. You have heard the Benue people cry out every time. You saw Benue people crying every time. That most of the time, the barrack will be very close. They will be calling them and calling them and calling them that the Fulanis are attacked. They will come. They won't come until when the Fulanis must have finished the attack. They will not appear. And then they will begin to stop those who are going for counterattack. We have had this story time and time again, where the military was called upon and they refused to go. Where even if they want to go, they have to wait and wait until when the Fulanis have finished the operation before they will come forth. It happened in Southern Kaduna. It happened in Benue State, and still continue to happen. Today, the late Muhammadu Buhari has succeeded in dividing every single institution in that contraption, including the military. He has succeeded in dividing every single institution, including the military. Just waiting to explode. But I bet you, we are ahead of them. The Biafran people, we are 1,000 miles ahead. That is why we are not relenting in our effort. We will continue to pursue our agenda. We will continue to fight ahead. We continue to move on until we work out in this year. This year, we must work out. So tell him to shove his apology to his pocket. And every genuine indigenous person in that contraption, not only the Biafran, you must tell that man to shove his apology into his pocket. He should put that his apology into his pocket, because that is apology. It is not for any one of us. If you want to render apology, you have to start by making correction and confessing. Start by releasing our Supreme Amazon Nandekano unconditionally. Open up all those hindrances and obstacles you put on the way. Remove all those military borders you put in Biafra land. Demilitarize Biafra land. This is one of the most demilitarized Biafra land. How can you be talking about peace, talking about apology, when you are still perpetrating the same evil? You are still fueling the same hatred. Fueling hatred everywhere. Our Supreme Amazon Nandekano did a great job that everyone can confess to. Uniting the Biafran people together, regardless your tribe, your religion. We got united. They came back and they begin to sow the seed of discord. Mazen Nandekano went further to make an alliance with our Udua brothers. We began to speak as brothers to each other. They found it very, very disturbing, and they began to plan all manner of evil. And today, here are you. After creating division on different angles, you are coming to apologize without mending that division that you created. You must first of all correct the irregularities that you have created. Release our Supreme Amazon Nandekano unconditionally. Demilitarize Biafra land. And again, open up our ports, both sea and land. Let every indigenous people have access. Remove all those hindrances you are putting in establishment and in business and in resources. Let every state be able to cultivate what they have and use it to develop their state. You don't just walk up and you begin to play all those your janjaweed games and you think you can win us. We are far ahead of you. There's no language you use for Biafran today that we have not had. There is no blackmail you bring today that we have not seen. There's no amount of deceit you are going to bring that we have not seen. We have seen it all. And that is why sometimes when they are talking, we look at them and we'll be laughing. I thank you for our new Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa, who is doing a great job, responding when he has to respond, moving forward without looking back, without getting distracted. May Chukwu continue to guide him and protect him. We must be focused. We must continue to be focused, consistently pursuing what you're pursuing. Remember what Mazi Nandekano said. Mazi Nandekano said, consistency is the key. There are so many words that Mazi Nandekano has spoken to us that if we can put them into practice, we have no need to worry. There are certain of his videos that we play, certain videos of Mazi Nandekano. When you play it, it will be giving you an answer of what is happening today. That is why most of the time I urge people, take out some time to listen to the messages of Mazi Nandekano, his past broadcast. Take out some time, even if it is 10 minutes in a day, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Anytime you have an opportunity, listen to the messages of Mazi Nandekano, at least for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Anyone you can lay your hand upon, you must learn something new. Because his words are a pistol. They are new every morning. I thank Chukwu Abiyama, who has brought us this far. And he gave us a spokesperson, the new Prime Minister of Biafran Republic government in exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa, who is standing gidigba, unshaken, hitting every closed doors. Every closed doors, he's busting them open. And